Oh, hello. I know, right? Whose balls did I have to fondle to get my very own movie?
Deadpool and Wolverine made their entrance with plenty of cameos and even more jokes, but things could have turned out way differently. There were a lot of different ideas that got cut, including a plan for Deadpool 3 to be a remake of Thor 2 with Ryan Reynolds. Also, before Hugh Jackman joined, Reynolds even wanted to insert Deadpool into iconic scenes from every MCU movie. When they were planning the third movie, it was tough. I mean, how do you top Deadpool 2? After the 2018 hit, Ryan Reynolds and the team grappled with that question, searching for the perfect idea for the franchise's third installment, and many things came up and got deleted. Now we know the answer. Bring back Wolverine, aka Logan, from the grave. Literally. The movie has just been released, and Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman co-star in one of the year's most anticipated films, Deadpool and Wolverine. It's their debut in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, opening up tons of possibilities for the future and introducing Deadpool as the Marvel Messiah, Marvel Jesus, the savior of the multiverse. And this will all make sense when you see the epic and hilarious ending of the third movie. As it turns out, the film almost didn't happen. Ryan Reynolds and director Sean Levy were scratching their heads for years, trying to come up with the perfect idea until Hugh Jackman called Reynolds and said he wanted to slip back into Wolverine's claws, the role he first played in 2000's X-Men. But what were Reynolds and Levy pitching to Marvel before Jackman's epic phone call? Wendy Jacobson, the film's executive producer, spilled the beans on the wild concepts they had for Deadpool 3 before Jackman jumped on board. There were so many ideas, she told The National. In an interview with CBR, Wendy Jacobson talked about the various ideas they had for Deadpool 3. She said, "At one point, we considered a modestly budgeted indie road trip movie with Deadpool and Dopinder. We also thought about a frame-for-frame remake of Thor 2 with Deadpool up until the first act break." Wendy added, "We had all sorts of ideas, including a Deadpool's deleted scenes extravaganza where we'd show that Deadpool was in the MCU all along. His scenes just didn't make the final cut. Those were just a few of the wild concepts." She also mentioned that even if those ideas had been used, she would have still been involved because of her commitment to Ryan. In another interview with CBR, Marvel Studios head Kevin Feige shared his thoughts on the idea of remaking Thor 2 with Deadpool 3. He described it as one of the weaker concepts among the many proposed ideas. Director Sean Levy also revealed that Deadpool 3 was almost cancelled until Hugh Jackman unexpectedly called to say he'd return as Wolverine. Levy noted, "I have to say it was tougher to crack than I expected. We were on the verge of giving up because nothing felt truly amazing until Hugh Jackman called out of the blue. As soon as we knew Wolverine would be in the mix with Deadpool, the movie finally had a purpose." Between 2018 and 2022, there were plenty of concepts tossed around, but Jacobson noticed a big difference in the pace of ideas before and after Jackman volunteered. "It's wild how long we were trying to figure out what the movie would be before Hugh stepped up," she said. "Once he was officially on board, we had our first draft of the screenplay ready in just 8 weeks. Then we prepped it, handed it to the crew, and started shooting 6 months later." Part of the struggle was that Deadpool and Wolverine was actually the first idea Reynolds had for the film, but Marvel initially rejected it. Reynolds recently shared that he pitched a Rashomon-style story inspired by Akira Kurosawa's classic 1950 film, where the same story is told from 3 different perspectives, a storytelling technique that's become pretty popular in movies and TV. Reynolds explained that the first act was through Deadpool's perspective, so he saw Wolverine a certain way. "The second act shows how Wolverine sees me, and the third act is the objective truth," he said. Marvel head Kevin Feige responded with a firm, "Absolutely not." Reynolds also pitched a short film idea where Deadpool interrogates a man, only to reveal that the guy is the hunter who shot Bambi. Feige's response was, "We don't mess with Bambi." Reynolds added, "I was like, okay, sorry, I didn't know Bambi was a sacred cow." Yep, this is all real. Even if Feige had agreed to the Rashomon idea, Jackman's involvement was far from guaranteed. The Australian actor had firmly stated he wouldn't return after the 2017 film Logan, which killed off Wolverine to give the film a definitive ending, a rarity in superhero movies. Jackman admitted, "The truth is, I meant what I said when I said I was done. I announced that before we shot Logan, but then, about 3 days after that, I saw the first Deadpool in 2016, and about 15 minutes in I thought, oops. The idea of a team-up stuck with Jackman for years. I could totally see the two characters together, he said. I kept thinking about movies like 48 Hours, The Odd Couple, and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I could see how these characters would work well together. Then on August 14, 2022, while I was driving, it hit me that I really wanted to make it happen. I thought Sean and Ryan were about to start shooting, so I pulled over and called Ryan. I said, I want to do this. Please tell me you'll do this. As luck would have it, Reynolds and Levy were just hours away from meeting with Feige for a final pitch. They scrapped their old ideas and reworked everything to include Jackman. This time, Feige gave the green light. Even though Jackman didn't get a writing credit, he sent a lengthy voice note to Reynolds after the script was done, sharing some ideas that ended up being key to the final film. Hugh knows this character better than anyone, Jacobson says. This is his 10th time playing him, so it was crucial to honor Logan's legacy. Without giving too much away, I can say he took the character in some incredible new directions and finally got to do some things he'd been itching to for years. Jackman's dedication really energizes the film, something Jacobson finds impressive. On our last day of filming, even though Hugh didn't have any lines in the final scene, he was in his sleeveless suit, doing 10 push-ups before every take. Just complete commitment from start to finish, she added. And you can definitely see those muscles from start to finish, especially toward the end, where Deadpool has plenty of fun poking at them. Jacobson also touched on the highly anticipated and much rumored cameos in the film. Given the multiversal aspect of the MCU and Deadpool's mission to save his universe, the trailers have already hinted at some surprises, with more likely on the way. We don't really use the term cameo in our filmmaking discussions because it often implies a shock value, she explained. For us, every character's appearance is driven by the story. If they show up, it's because they play a role in advancing the plot or have a full emotional arc. Jacobson also praised the dedication of stars Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, along with director Sean Levy. These guys put their entire mind, body, and soul into the film, she said. Hugh is in the gym, and Ryan's working out at 3 or 4 a.m. before shooting all day. They never stop and are completely committed to making these movies. When discussing the editing process, Jacobson mentioned that it was all about experimentation. Editing a comedy involves trying out different things to see what works and what doesn't, she explained. It was pretty organic, and there weren't many huge surprises during editing. This approach led to a film that closely followed the original script with minimal cuts, but there are still plenty of alternate, chaotic takes that might be seen later. Jacobson noted there are only a very few short, deleted scenes. Structurally, the script was solid, but we have an infinite number of alternate jokes and improvisations because of the comedy gold we captured. We could have made countless versions of this film. Despite having few deleted scenes, the film is packed with alternate jokes and improv. Jacobson hinted that these outtakes might be included in home releases. We're definitely planning to include some deleted scenes and hopefully a gag reel to showcase the many versions of jokes we had, she said. That's a wrap on all the behind-the-scenes details about Deadpool and Wolverine. It's fascinating to see how the film evolved from wild concepts to the epic team-up we have today. What do you think about the various ideas that didn't make it into the final cut? Would you have preferred any of those alternate concepts? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next video.